Hi everyone, welcome to the Wednesday class. We've got Kat on the chat and it's that week has come round already in our 10-week cycle and it's going to be Kat's Kitchen.
Yes, it is.
Later on. So please post in the chat, say hi in the chat. We'll get straight on with the exercises because we've got to play the Kat's Kitchen video later on. So we're going to go straight in without messing about too much. Oh look, here we go. Hello from Istanbul. Wow, okay. James, Elizabeth, let's see if I can. Oh, so Annette was first on and Linda was first on today. James, Jacqueline was there. Hi there. Annette, Palmela from Spain, Anne, Mary, Isabel, Barbara, Alexandra, Jill, Marjorie. Okay, look at that. We've got people from all over the world as usual. It's great to have you on the class. And we've got no point of the week this week because we've got Kat's Kitchen coming up in just 40 minutes time. So we better get straight on with the exercises. I'm going to start off with doing the focusing exercise, tuning in, and I've got a couple of other questions to ask you today because I'd like to do more of a location-based session today to really sort of straighten ourselves out and get us ready for the week ahead. So let's do the focusing in straight away. If you've got any questions, just type them into the chat. Kat will help you out. We're going to do a whole body scan. Always a good idea every week to just really tune in, see how we are, see if we need anywhere particular that we need to work or any particular areas. So let's do that straight away. We're going to just stand comfortably, not doing too much releasing because we want to find out how we are first of all without kind of doing anything. So we're going to scan through our bodies. You want to take a moment to do that. Start off just above your head, working down with your mind. This is just thinking down. So I'm kind of relaxing. I'm thinking down through my head, relaxing, releasing my jaw, just feeling how that is, feeling around my neck. And then we're working down. You're going to feel down through your shoulders, through your chest, down through your arms, through our arms, and then into our abdomen, all the way down through the hips, knees and feet. Okay, now just step back a little bit with your mind and just try and get an overall picture of your whole body. Just notice any areas of stiffness, any areas of blockages, any areas of weakness, any general movements of energy. Are you kind of going up like this or back like this, back or forwards, just any general movements? And we're just going to take 1 minute just to make a quick sketch of that. And I'm going to do that with you. I've got a couple of places I want to work on today. Okay, I'm just going to do a sketch of myself like this and then put in a few areas that I'd like to work on. And I'm feeling a little bit like my energy is going up today. So I'm just going to put some arrows up like that to remind myself at the end just to check in to see whether I can calm down a bit there. But please just draw in, write in a few things that you'd like to work on today, and we can check it out in 40 minutes time when we finish the exercises. Okay, cool. Right, so now let's just tune into the 3 zones, and I'm going to, do you know what I'm going to do it slightly differently this week? I'm going to put the 3 heaters on my whole body scan here. So I'm going to put the 3 heaters in. And then I've got it all on one chart. That's kind of like an interesting idea. So I've got the 3 zones there written right in, and we're going to scan through the 3 burning spaces or the 3 heaters. We're going to do it in one continuous movement and then compare each of them, okay? So we're going to tune in. Let's use our hands this time just for a change. So we're going to just rub our hands together. We're going to place our hands in the lower part of the abdomen, and we're kind of scanning through the body into the lower back and the sacrum, and we're just kind of getting a sense of what that feels like, or what is it like. Okay, just take a moment to tune in. Okay, and then we're going to go up to the middle burner. That's between the diaphragm and the navel here. Goes all the way around here. So we're going to place our hand here. Does that feel different? It does for me, I can tell you. So what is that like? We're going to scan in to the middle burner, that's this whole area here. And then we're going to go up into the upper burner. Just getting a sense of what the upper burner, the lung and heart area is like. Okay, now just relax. We're going to turn that into a picture. Just remember the feeling that you had in each of the three areas, and we're going to just draw them in. I'm going to draw them right into my whole body scan chart as well here. Just showing what's different. Okay, very good. So let's find out. Wow, James had some great success with point of the week last week. That's great. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to just run some polls. First of all, let's just find out which, I want to find out whereabouts you'd like to work. Where in the body do you feel the block or weakness you would most like to work on? I've got mine written right down here. Just look at your chart. I'm going to do this because I'd like to go for more of a location-based session today. So where in your body would you like to work the block or the weakness? So let's just see how it pans out. Okay, look at this. Oh, that's very, very interesting. We've got a very big votes for the head, neck and shoulders. No surprise there. So we're going to make sure that we do a good session on all those yang channels. But we've also got a lot of votes for inside the upper body, which is really interesting in itself as well. It's very interesting. Okay, so let's just run the 3 burner poll. Which burner? So just have a look at the 3 burners, figure out which one you'd like to work on the most, and we'll correlate that with the locations. Let's find out which burner you'd like to work on. So what have we got? And the last few weeks we actually had, look at this. What a surprise. Okay, look, this is really, really significant because over the last month or two, we've had a consistently increase in the lower burner taking over. In fact, last week it was the most popular of the 3 burners. And look at this. This is a very dramatic change. I wonder why that's happened. We've suddenly got a big increase in the upper burner. So that's really interesting. We've got upper burner. I'll put a note here. We've got upper burner. And we've got the head, neck and shoulders that really need some attention. So we better get straight on with that. That's very interesting. Thank you for taking part in that poll. That's a very, very big surprise movement in the energy of the group. And we like that because it keeps us wondering what is going on. So let's start off. We'll do some warm-ups with the lower and the middle burner. And then what we'll do is we'll revise the whole of the heart meridian because we got to the end of that last week with heart 9. And we'll do some special work on the head, neck and shoulders in the next 30 minutes or so. Get us ready for Cat's Kitchen. Okay, so let's go. A quick drink of water. Okay, wow, what a surprise, that upper burner. How about that? Okay, so the thing about the upper burner is we don't really want to go straight there and work it because there are a lot of very important connections in Chinese medicine with the upper and the lower burner. For example, the heart and the kidney energy are very closely connected, and the lungs and the kidney too. They're kind of rooted in the lower burner. So even though we're going to do a lot of work on the heart meridian and the upper burner today, we've really got to anchor it in the lower burner. So first of all, let's just stand feet shoulder width apart. Now also, because we've got a lot of work to be done in the upper body, we want to try and get that energy to be released down. So let's do some shaking. And when we're shaking today, what we're going to do is we're going to try and imagine any tension in the upper body going out, down the arms and down the legs. Okay, so let's start off. We're going to start off shaking from the feet this time. So we're going to just relax the ankles and we're going to bounce up and down, focusing on our ankles and our feet. We can shake them out. Very good. Okay, and we're going to just release the knees. Okay, and this is based on the principle of Chinese medicine. You tend to work the opposite ends of the channels. So now let's work the wrists and the hands. And as we're doing that, we're imagining energy draining away from the head and going out through the fingertips. So get those fingertips released. Okay, and we're going to just release the elbows, shoulders. Okay, very good. Okay, we're clearing those channels out in the legs and the feet. And now we're going to shake from the head. Going to get that jaw relaxed. Relaxing the neck and the throat. Nice big breaths. Okay, and as we're breathing out. We're imagining the energy or the blockage is moving down into the hands and feet. Okay, back to the hips. Okay, now this is a really good technique for releasing any tension in the upper body. We're going to lean forwards and we're going to throw our hands down like this. I'll take them aside. Okay, we're just hanging forwards, relaxing the jaw, let the weight of the jaw just relax down. Okay. Loosen the shoulders and shaking down. Okay, very good. Okay, so that's a good bit of shaking to start off with. Now let's energize the lower burner. Just like to do a little experiment with you first of all, because we've got so many votes for the upper burner. What I want you to do is just put your hand on the lower burner here. Okay, place your hand around the center. This is around CV17, around the center of the chest. Okay, and just for a moment, just feel the connection between the two hands. And notice how your lower burner and your upper burner feel. Okay. Now, if you voted for the middle burner, you might find there's kind of a blockage there that's stopping that connection. That's really important. We're going to work on that in a minute. Those of you who voted for the lower burner, you might find this is a bit weak and it's not connecting. And those of you who voted for the upper burner, you might find that there's just too much going on here and you can't feel this connection. So if you just tune into that first of all, we'll do some work for the next half an hour or so. We'll go back and we'll check it, because this connection here is really, really important for all kinds of anxiety, insomnia, and things like that. And it's a technique that I teach my clients a lot if they've got a lot of upper burner issues, to root it down. So let's establish that lower burner breathing to start with. Let's just shake out those legs. Let's get that kidney 1 really connected to the earth. We're going to place our hands over the lower dantian. We're going to relax the shoulders and we're going to get that egg underneath our armpits. Just feel that energy going down your arms. Okay, relax into your hips, relax into your sacrum. Very good. Okay, and now we're going to breathe. Okay, breathing in. Okay, now if you feel your breath going into the upper part of the chest, that's okay, but you want to relax it down and try and get the breathing down into the lower dantian here. So as we breathe in, we feel this area expanding outwards, and then as we breathe out, we imagine the energy from the breath settling in the lower dantian. Have you got it? Okay, excellent. Now let's energize the lower burner just by the CV gate of life points, CV4 and CV6, just below the navel here, rotating round. As we're doing that, we're opening up kidney 1, opening up the hips, relaxing and creating space here, relaxing the arms, opening up, keep that egg under our armpit. That's it. And now we're going to float the head up, keeping that nice feeling of groundedness. Keeping the lower burner nice and relaxed. Keeping the breathing as much as we can down into the lower dantian. We're going to stay with that for a little while. Very good. Okay, now if you've got any shoulder issues and you find it difficult to do this, that's fine. Just keep working like this. If you can reach behind, let's energize bladder 23, the kidney U point. And let's see if we can get that feeling of the energy going through and into the front of the body. Okay? So it's kind of literally going through here and into the lower dantian. So we're working this whole area here, and I'm working it like this. Okay, excellent. Very good. Okay, very good. Now, the Wednesday class wouldn't be complete without us working kidney 1. And last week I found that a really good way of doing that is by using a chair to sit on rather than sitting on the floor. So I'm going to use a chair again this week. I'm going to sit on the chair, and if you've got one nearby, I really recommend that. I come a little bit closer so I can show you my kidney 1 point. I'm going to take this off. So, okay, remember where kidney 1 is? It's 1/3 of the distance down the midline, and it's that bubbling spring point. Now, particularly because we've got upper burner and we've got head and neck as the most predominant areas that you want to work on, kidney 1 is probably the most important point in the body. You might think, well, that's at the other end. I know, but the thing about Chinese medicine with acupuncture and shiatsu is we tend to work the opposite end of the channel. So for head issues, we use points on the feet. And another reason why we want to do this is to tonify the lower burner to anchor the energy of the upper burners. And hopefully we're going to feel that later on in the session. So here we are, I'm pressing in to kidney 1 with my fingers tips, giving it a good tap. And certainly during the week, if you ever get like feeling you're getting stressed out, maybe a headache, maybe you're feeling a little bit dizzy, or maybe you've just got too much eye strain or anything like that, then I would recommend you just spend 5 minutes working on kidney 1 to anchor yourself, increase the yin of your body, and also by opening up the foot like this, you're actually opening up a lot of the yang channels in the feet that come right away from the head all the way down. So a lot of these points are used for headaches and things like that in acupuncture and shiatsu. So just generally massaging the feet and pressing around this whole area here, opening the foot out like I'm doing here, will really help any issues you get in the head during the week. And it's such an easy, simple thing to do. Just have a break for 5 minutes, and as we'll find out in a minute when we stand up, it really does make a huge difference to how we are by working the feet. Okay, put my sock on. Hey. Okay, so now it's time for the other foot. Tapping kidney 1. Working like this, pressing. Okay, excellent. Stretching the front of the top of the foot like that. Okay, brilliant. Okay, and now the big moment, we're going to stand up and find out what's been happening to our lower burner. Okay, so here we go. Okay, can you feel that? That's always a popular technique for me to open up that kidney 1. You can feel it tingling away. You can feel that how that anchors the lower burner. We've energized it nicely with the with this technique and with the lower abdominal breathing. So let's just do a little bit of tapping. We're going to tap up from kidney 1 up through kidney 3. If you can do this, we're relaxing forward, tapping up behind the ankles, up the inside of the legs, down into the bladder channel, down. Okay, I'm just going to do that 3 times. So this is the second pass up kidney channel. That's on the back of the inside of the legs, and then on the back, right down the middle of the back of the legs, you've got the bladder channel. Okay, and again, one more time. Okay, very good. We're going to shake out. Okay, now let's check in again. We're going to place one hand on the lower burner and one hand on the upper burner. Okay, now you notice any difference? You'll probably feel this is a lot warmer, a lot stronger. It feels connected with the earth. How's the connection between the two? Just check in on that. And now let's do some simple stuff for the middle burner, and we'll check in again and see if we can feel more of a connection. Those of you who voted for the middle burner will probably find the biggest effect of this technique. So let's just concentrate in here. We're going to twist the body, just twisting one side, and then twisting the other side. We're going to keep the head floating upwards. Just a simple twist, and we're focusing it on the middle burner here. Okay, what about a liver stretch? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do a stretch for the liver and gallbladder channels. Very good for the, again, for the middle burner. All we do is bring a hand up and we stretch to the side here, opening up this area here. I'm just going to do it 3 breaths, so breathing in, breathing out. That's it, breathing in, breathing out. And breathing in, breathing out. We're really opening up the whole side here. I'm stretching down into that leg. Excellent. We do the other side, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. Okay, that's a liver and gallbladder stretch, stretching the side of the body, and we can do a simple forward back stretch like this, stretching open the front of the body, again focusing on the middle burner, so breathing in, bringing your arms up, breathing out, stretching up and back, giving some space here for the digestive organs, the stomach and the liver, as we go upwards and backwards, stretching open that channel. If you tip our heads back slightly, we get more of a feeling of opening of the stomach channel in the front of the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, good. So that's a stretch for the stomach, this way, and a stretch for the liver and gallbladder. So now let's do some doing, and we'll try and get that middle burner as released as we can. So let's just tap around the middle burner. We're going to tap from liver 13, if you remember that, from the wood element cycle that we did, up into the liver 14, just below the nipple, so it's around here. It's this movement here, this is the end of the liver channel. We can tap that area before we start going down into the gallbladder channel. Okay, the liver and gallbladder channels are on the inside and outside of the leg, so they're kind of on the sides of the body. And so we're going to go down here into gallbladder 30. If you remember that amazing point here that's used for sciatica, really good point right in the back of the hips. And we go down. And as we're doing this, we're focusing on the middle burner. So we're going down, relaxing here, seeing if we can feel anywhere along the channel that helps release this middle burner here. Okay, got it? So we're going to go down, let's go back up here again. Remember, this is the gate of hope, this movement here. And we go down into the hips, down the gallbladder channel, and up the lip channel. Very good. Okay, excellent. One more pass. We go up, down, and up. Okay, and then we're brushing off. Very good. Okay, so let's just twist again. And you'll probably find it's a lot easier to twist, and that's because we've opened up the liver and gallbladder channel and we've worked the channels with the dough-in. So look how easy and free that is. So that just leaves the stomach and spleen channels. These run down the front of the body, front, inside and out. So let's just tap down here. I'm just tapping on the outside of the abdomen. Just go down 3 times, go down and up. Down. And up. Okay, excellent. So now we're just brushing off. Okay, right, so now let's check in again with this connection between the lower and the upper heater, tuning into the lower heater and tuning into the upper heater. And we're feeling the connection between the two. Okay, now you notice that now we've released this is getting stronger, this feeling of connection. And that's a really good thing. Because we've basically strengthened the lower burner, we've released the middle burner, which encourages this connection between the upper and the lower burner. If you want to know the Western medicine, more about the Western medicine, you should check out Dan Keown's book, because he has the whole thing down in terms of hormonal connections between the adrenal system and the heart, and it's really interesting to read out what the mechanisms are for this. But for us, working on ourselves, with our own perception, what we feel is this feeling of more calmness in the upper heater because of this connection down with the lower heater. Okay, excellent. Brilliant work so far. So now the next thing to do is work on the upper heater and the head and the neck. So we've got some very important yin channels here that are important for regulating the heartbeat and the breathing. So we've got the lung and we've got the pericardium and the heart channel. So why don't we do a whole sequence of going for those channels and we'll see how we feel. Let's just check in first of all by doing this stretch. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out. Okay, that's the pericardium stretch. This stretch is the lung stretch. So just tune in and see what that feels like. Okay, and then if we do this, we bring our hands like this and we twist them like this. This opens up the heart channel. Get your little finger uppermost and turn it round this way, opening up heart 1. Okay, just feel that. Okay, so get an idea of what each of those feels like, and then we're going to do a sequence, a doing sequence, and cover all the yin channels in the arms. What we do is we'll do a circuit. As we work the yang channels, we'll imagine any tension in the head going out down the hands. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're tonifying the yin channels here, balancing the yin channels for the chest, and using the yang channels of the arm to disperse any blockages in the head. Okay, 2 in 1. So let's try starting with the lung. So lung 1 is here, just in this part of the shoulder. So we're going to tap here. And as we do that, we're going to take some nice deep breaths into the chest there. And we're going to go down towards the thumb. Okay, so we're going to do the lung again. Let's do it 3 times. Very good. Okay, let's do the other side. Take some nice deep breaths in there as we release the lung area. Down to the thumb. Very good. And then we're going to brush off. Okay, check that lung stretch again. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel that tingly feeling all the way into the thumbs. Really open up the whole rib cage. Okay, energizing the lungs, very important for the upper heater. So the next most important thing to do is to kind of calm, balance the heart center and these channels that run through the chest. So we're going to use the pericardium channel for that. And we're going to tap here, along here. This is where the channel runs inside the body, and then it comes out and goes down the middle of the inside of the arms. So it's kind of like the liver channel on the leg, on the inside of the leg. That's its paired channel there. We go down into the palm. We're going to repeat that 3 times. Breathing again into the upper heater. Down into the palm. Very good. And then we're going to brush off. And the same the other side. There we are. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to brush off through down the pericardium channel. Very good. Okay, now while we're talking about the pericardium channel, do you remember this point? 3 fingers width up from the wrist crease, pericardium 6. That's the point that's used for travel sickness, nausea, and things like that. It regulates the digestive system, but it also calms the heart as well, and to calm and kind of helps the spirit. So that's a point to remember, pericardium 6. And finally, we're going to work the heart channel. We're going to work it a little bit lighter, and we're going to start off with heart 1, that's right under the armpit, and we're going to just press in using acupressure techniques for this. And the best way to do this is to aim up towards the top of your shoulder. So if you take your thumb like this, place it underneath right into the armpit, and aim it up towards the top of the shoulder. That's heart 1. And then once you get the angle right, you'll feel a connection deep into the chest. And that means you've activated that point. It's really good for unbinding the chest. So if you get a lot of tension and kind of blockage here, that's a great point for that. We can start by just gently pressing in. It's a very comforting kind of feeling. And then we're going to tap down the heart channel. Okay, and if you remember, we covered heart 7. This point's great for insomnia, right in the wrist crease here, and then we worked down and we worked heart 9 right on the finger joint there, on the inside of the finger joint there, and that completes the pathway of the heart channel. So let's just tap down. The heart channel is very protected, so it goes here. It's very shy, so instead of going down here, you might think it might go down here. It goes inside, really protected. It's the most protected channel of the body, and it comes out on the inside of the finger there. So we'll give it a little bit of a squeeze, and then we're going to tap down the heart channel again. Very good. I'm just brushing off. I'm just squeezing that heart 9 at the end there. Okay, and then the other side, I'm going to press right into heart 1, unbinding my chest. Getting that right in there, so I've got my thumb in right there. You need to locate that point. Bring your arm up like this, you'll feel a hollow right in the armpit. Place your thumb in it and go down, and then gently press up towards gallbladder 21, at the top of your shoulder, and you'll get that feeling. And if you just relax your hand, you can feel a connection right into the upper heater, and that's the connection with the upper heater, which is what with the majority vote today. So, and we're going to tap down from there. This is heart 3 actually by the elbow. We haven't mentioned that. We go down to heart 7, really important point, and then down into heart 9. Tapping down. 7 and heart 9. And that's the whole length of the heart channel. It's not very long. It's a very important channel. It actually goes internally into the chest and then down the arm. Okay, so let's check in and see how we're doing. So let's see what these stretches feel like now. You can shake out the upper burner a bit. Take some nice deep breaths in and feel this stretch now. There we are. It should feel nice, much more open and easy to do. Same with the lungs. Whoa, there we go. Okay, and what about the heart stretch? We're going to rotate our, bring up our little finger, and what you should feel now, if you just relax, is a nice feeling of ease as we twist our hands around here, like this. I'm twisting my hand around like this, and that opens up the connective tissue that's connected to the heart channel. Okay, excellent. So now's a big moment. We're going to see what that connection feels like. So we're going to place our hand here again and here. We're going to relax. We're going to get that spine nicely aligned, head floating up. We're going to open kidney 1 up and get that feeling of groundedness. And now let's just see if we get a nice feeling. What we should have is a feeling of solidity here, relaxed openness here, and a feeling of connection through the middle burner. And we can emphasize that by breathing in, imagining a connection, and as we breathe out, just imagine these two hands merging together. That's very good. Okay, let's just try another couple of breaths. And you notice on the exhalation, especially if you get the breath down to here, you get a very strong feeling of calmness through the body. Okay, just try that again, one more time. Okay, and that calmness comes from the connection between the upper heater, which regulates the heart and the breathing, with the adrenal system essentially, and the strength of the regulation of the nervous system, the adrenal system via the kidney channel. And that's a really, really important energetic connection that we've been able to explore today. Okay, so we better just do some work on the head and neck. Let's get those yang channels cleared before we go over to Kat's kitchen. Really looking forward to that. I can't wait to find out how she managed to make this amazing cake, because she actually gave everyone in the team a sample of it, and I have to say it's definitely the best cake that I've ever eaten. So we'll find out the secrets in just a few minutes' time of how she made that cake. But before we do that, let's clear the yang channels of the head. So what we're going to do is we're going to basically work the top of the head again, tapping. This is the one that goes all the way down the backs of the leg, down to the bladder channel. Just tapping over the top of the head and down back of the neck. Here we go. So I'm going down here, tapping all the way down, tapping down the back of the neck here, down. Very good. Okay, and then the sides of the head. Very good. And then the front of the face, we're just going to press here. This is related to the stomach and the large intestine channels. Around the eyes, just pressing around the eyes. Oh, really relaxing. And then slowly pressing round through the cheekbones. This is all related to the stomach channel. Stomach 2 is here where my finger is. We'll get onto that very soon when we get into the earth element later on this year. We'll do some points on the stomach channel. Relaxing the jaw. And then it's quite a good idea just to work around here. This is the large intestine channel. And then around the lower jaw, more connected to the stomach channel. And then pulling the ears. Okay, and then I'm just going to place my hands over my eyes here and just really relax our eyes. See if you can feel the connection all the way from your eyes down into your neck, down into the feet and hands. Okay, very good. So that's the face routine. So all we need to do now is, like I said before, we're going to just release the neck, and then we're going to go down the yang channels of the arms, and then we'll be done. Okay, so let's just squeeze down. Squeezing down the neck. Okay, so we've released the yang channels in the head. So the next thing we need to do to finish off is to get the energy down the arms, using the yang channels of the arms. And we're going to do all three together just by using an open hand technique all the way down. This is the large intestine, triple heater, and small intestine channels. More on the small intestine channel next week, as we're going to explore the whole of the small intestine channel. Very useful channel to know about. That starts next week. As we go into the second half of the fire element 10-week cycle. Okay, and then we go down the outside, the same thing on this side, 3 times. Rushing off. Shaking out. And let's do some movements. In the spine, we're just going to let the whole spine release like this. Imagining energy from the head going down the spine, down into the feet. Okay, superb. Okay, so let's just check in again. Feet shoulder width apart. Standing, relaxing, egg under the armpit, visualizing the heart channel right down to the little finger. And we're just going to do 3 breaths just to integrate everything. Head floating up. We're going to breathe in, let our arms float up, open up the kidney 1, feel the grounding. Float up and feel your energy going down through your feet and into the earth. Connecting with heaven, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very, very good. Just a little bit of a shake. Fantastic. Okay, so now it's time to go over to Kat's Kitchen. Our feature, we only do this once every 10 weeks. And Basti actually helped her with the videoing this time. I'm really looking forward to finding out how she made that cake. So please enjoy the next 15 minutes of Kat's Kitchen Summer Edition. Okay, here we go.
Hello and welcome to Kat's Kitchen. We are in the summer season, which is the fire element, and it manifests in our energy and vitality, and it's linked with the summer. And it has 4, not 2 meridians like the rest of the elements. This element is special and has 4 meridians connected to it. We have the heart and small intestine, and we have the heart protector and triple heater or triple burner, and that's the one that we work on the most in our Wednesday classes. So our heart, also in Chinese medicine, houses our Shen or mind. So for me, I think a healthy heart is a clear mind. And the fire element, it provides us with the ability for affection and to love. So I'm going to show you how to make a chocolate, beetroot and ginger cake. You will need 2 items or equipment, a 20 centimetre cake tin or something of similar size. I've pre-buttered it because I don't have any parchment paper. So if you don't want to butter, please use parchment paper. The other thing I'm going to use is Not my arms for elbow grease this time. I'm going to use a food processor. If you don't have a food processor, it's completely fine, but you will need some sort of hand blender or machine to blitz the beetroot up when we get to that part. So, our hearty love cake. I'll just run through some of the food energetics and why it's so good for you. Who knew that cake could be so zen? So, chocolate is our energy boost, and it will give you a nice amount of energy with no dip afterwards. Kind of like coffee, it has caffeine, but you won't get the after effect of a low dip from coffee. Cocoa has a huge amount of plant chemicals like iron and magnesium and zinc, and one called flavonols. So they're known to protect the heart, and flavonols support the production, if I can remember right, of nitric oxide, which is the inner cell lining of a blood vessel, and it also improves blood flow, and thereby it lowers blood pressure. Cocoa also reduces the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure and inflammation. The other food that we're going to put in the cake is a lot of eggs. The humble egg is actually a yang food, and it's full of vitamin D. So in our wonderful lockdown, if you've been at home for a while, this cake's going to be great. The other thing I'm going to add in, which isn't often put into a beetroot chocolate cake, is ginger. Now, ginger is amazing in traditional Chinese medicine, the energetics of this. So it releases exterior and disperses cold in the body. So any external pernicious influences, cold, damp, that enter your body and that don't come from your body, ginger expels them. It also promotes Qi circulation and has a strong effect on your lungs, your spleen and your stomach. So it's really good for colds, coughs and any digestive problems. And beetroot, let's not forget that, because that's one of the main ingredients in the cake. It's neutral in terms of food energetics, hot and cold. So if you're yin and you're worried about this cake affecting your cold, don't worry about it. And the same with yang, it doesn't affect the heat inside your body. Also, what it does do is it nourishes your blood and benefits your heart and liver. It encourages Qi and blood circulation, and it lubricates the intestines. So it reduces constipation, irritability, and it's also an anti-inflammatory on the body. So without further ado, I'll just run through the list of things that you'll need to make this delicious cake. So I have 200 grams of butter. I have 200 grams of chocolate. I've mainly gone for dark chocolate. I've added a little milk chocolate in there as well, just to make a smoother texture to the flavour in the cake. The higher percentage of cocoa, the more the cake will have higher levels of flavonols, which supports our heart, which I explained earlier. You'll also need 250 grams of beetroot. I've gone for the pre-cooked beetroot, so there's less prep time and less mess. If you prefer, you can get raw beetroot, boil it and peel it, ready to put into your cake. I have 5 eggs and sugar. I've gone for a light brown sugar. You can also use coconut sugar, and I have lessened the sugar and I've put 200 grams. You'll also need a teaspoon of baking powder. You can use gluten-free baking powder if you'd like a gluten-free cake. And 240 grams of ground almonds. I've also put some flaked almonds in there, but this is 240 in total. You'll also need a pinch of salt, and then I've added to this cake some ginger, because as well as it being a hearty, earthy kind of feeling in the cake, I wanted to pack it with a punch and to give it a bit of yang energy as well. I used roughly about this amount of ginger. I didn't measure it, but hopefully you can see roughly how much ginger I've got. Before we start melting anything, I need to put the oven on to preheat to 190 degrees Celsius. So let's turn the oven on ready. About there. Yep. And I've prepared a bain-marie. So I've got a small pan with some boiling water, and I'm going to float a bowl in the top. And that's our bain-marie. Now I'm going to take the butter and the chocolate, and I'm going to add them to the bowl. So I have gone away and cut the butter up. I'm also going to add that to the chocolate. Okay. And I'm just going to gently let this melt on a low heat. We're slowly getting the butter and chocolate melting. What we want to do is to keep the heat quite low so that we don't scald the chocolate and burn it. And the other thing is, in the bain-marie, we really want to make sure that the bowl is floating, that there's just enough water in the bottom, that it doesn't overflow. But top tip, we want to make sure the bowl doesn't touch the bottom of the pan. We're almost there, and then once this is done, we'll take it off the heat and leave to gently cool on the side. So we're going to now take our pre-cooked beetroot, and if you've got raw beetroot, you cook it and then peel it and you get it to something like this. Or you can cheat like me with the pre-cooked vacuum-packed beetroot. If you don't have a food processor or hand blender, you can also grate the beetroot as well. I don't know, you could try it raw. It could be quite nice, raw grated beetroot. So add this to the food processor, and we're going to blitz this until it's quite a smooth paste. Great, so now the beetroot has come to quite a smooth paste. Unless you have it grated, it will be fine once cooked in the oven. So once we've done that, we then want to add all of the eggs, 5 eggs. Get all of that lovely vitamin D into our bodies. Make sure, yes, I've done it. I've got a little bit of shell in there. See if I can get that out before mixing. Then we can add the sugar. And baking powder, or gluten-free baking powder, and I'm going to do a flat teaspoon, level teaspoon I mean. Also going to add the ginger to pack a punch to this hearty, earthy cake. Then we blitz this up all together. That's looking pretty good. I want to give it one last huge turbo boost to make it nice and smooth. And it will also add some air into the eggs. Great. So that wonderful buttery chocolate mix that we made on the bain-marie should be much cooler than it was before. So we're going to add this to this mixture. I'll get a spatula to make sure I get all of the chocolate out of the bowl, or you can just have a nice spoonful for yourself whilst the cake is cooking. And I'm going to gently mix that in as well. The last thing that goes in the cake mixture is our ground almonds. I put a little bit of flaked almonds in there and a pinch of salt as well. So I'll just remove the lid again. You can also do this all by hand. This is very cheaty, quick kind of non-elbow grease way of doing things. But you know, if you've got loads of things going on at home, or you want to go out, anyway, it's just much quicker. And a tiny pinch of salt. And then we can blitz this all together as well. Great, so that's all blended together. It's looking super delicious. And now we get our cake tin, and I have covered it in butter, or you can use parchment or greaseproof paper to go in. Because it's a pop bottom on the cake tin, I want to make sure it's in so the liquid doesn't come out everywhere. Yeah, I think that's vacuumed in nicely. So let's pour this amazing cake mix into our cake tin. Okay. Well, it smells very delicious. I think I'll probably try a little bit. I have to sample before cooking, and I want to make sure it's okay before I let you guys know about this recipe, obviously. So I'm just going to scoop the rest of the mixture out. There we are. And we're going to put that in the oven for 35 to 45 minutes. And what we want to do is to make sure it's definitely cooked is when you go and check on the cake, if it's not wobbly on the top, it's probably cooked. You can check it with a skewer to see if it comes clean, but because it's quite a moist cake, I usually do the wobble test on this particular one. So into the oven, and I'm going to check it in about 30 minutes, and it might need another 15. So into this preheated oven. And I'll come back to give it the wobble test in half an hour. It's a tough job, but somebody had to do it. So I'll take it out. As you can see, it's slightly wobbly, but by the time it cools, it will firm up. And we want to keep it in the tin for about 5 minutes before attempting to take it out. So now I'm decorating the cake with some grated dark chocolate and some flaked almonds. It has been in the oven for 45 minutes to make sure it's completely cooked. I think this one's a bit longer to cook. And there we have it. It's still slightly cooling off. Here's a hearty love cake. You know, who knew cake could be so zen? Well, talking of the fire element giving to be able to love, here we are, Basti. I think the flame's blown out. Have some cake.
Thank you very much.
And I've heard that it's your birthday next week.
It is.
So happy early birthday.
Thank you very much. And I hear that it is also your birthday, Kat.
It is, in 2 weeks.
So an early birthday to you too.
Oh, thank you.
Perfect.
What's the verdict?
Looks good. Delicious.
And I have to totally agree with Basti. It was the most delicious cake I've ever had. It's the ginger and the chocolate just totally like balanced each other out, didn't they? So Kat, do you want to just come in on the video? We've just got a few seconds left of the session. Great video.
Oh, I actually liked it.
That was really brilliant. And I'm just going to have a look at the chat. Let's just see some. Yeah, look at that. Yeah,
oh, thank
fantastic.
you for your birthday. Yeah, it was last week because I made the video a bit before, so it's slightly
You
out.
both had your birthdays, haven't you? Now, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to definitely put a heart in the chat. And also, there's so much Chinese medicine as well. It was very, very instructional.
Amazing amount. Here, you know, even eggs. They've got so much vitamin D in. So as well as sitting out in the sun, you don't, you know, if you need a vitamin D boost, eating it is really good for you as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, we've got to go. Time's up. Thank you so much for tuning in. And next week, we're going to start the whole small intestine meridian, great meridian, all the way up into the head.
Yes.
Don't miss that. Tell all your friends. And thanks again, Kat. Oh, do you want to mention about your Sunday workshop?
Yes, so I didn't know if any of you would like to join me. This Sunday I've got a workshop. It's online, live. So if you'd like to, if you send me an email, and you can find that on the Shiatsu Centre's website, my email address. So it's katwestwood@outlook.com, and it's going to be a workshop to get more embodied, working on like energy work, shiatsu, some yoga and somatic movement. So it's based on May Day and the celebration of spring, and it's National Love Day on Sunday. So, you know, what better thing to do than give yourself a bit of love?
Brilliant. Yeah, so if you go to the Shiatsu Centre website, you'll find all the details there under online courses. Okay, thank you, Kat. And thanks for doing the chat and everything. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And have a great week.